Hello and welcome back to the Embracing Your Powers podcast. In the last episode, we talked about life being easy when you let it be. And I mentioned the concept of masculine and feminine energy. It was a fantastic episode. If you missed it, I'll link it up here and down below in the description if you want to check it out. But I want to dive into that a little bit more in this episode and talk about doing less but manifesting more. And if you've never heard of manifesting, it's essentially goal setting with a little bit of magic. Almost. You set a goal, you focus on the goal, and you work towards the goal, but you also step back and let go a little bit and just tell the universe what it is that you want and allow the universe to bring that opportunity into your life. It is essentially embracing your feminine energy, which we talked about a little bit in the last episode. Manifesting is kind of like a genie wish almost, because there's always a little bit of a twist. Sometimes your manifestations come in a different form than you thought, and it will come in its own time. You know how in movies when people make a wish to a genie, they have to be really careful about what they say because the genie always twists their wish a little bit and it's not exactly what they expected. Manifesting is a little bit like that. You will have a goal in mind. You'll be able to tell the universe, okay, this is what I want, but you have to keep your eye open for other opportunities that don't exactly look like what you thought they would, because everything kind of happens in its own way, in its own time, and there's sometimes opportunities that don't look like what you thought they would and you don't want to miss them. So you may think that your manifestations aren't working because they don't come through in the exact order at the exact time that you thought they would, but that is not the case because everything happens in its own time. For example, in the last episode, I talked a lot about houses and how we found the one that we wanted to purchase. Well, the joke is on me because literally after that podcast episode, I talked to my agent the same day and the house that we wanted was under contract, meaning we can't put an offer on it. So you can look at that and say, manifesting doesn't work. My manifestation didn't come through. I worked so hard and I believed so much and I was disappointed. And you would be right. I was extremely disappointed. I thought for sure that we were going to get that house and it was going to be a smooth sailing, easy process. However, I also knew that the opposite could be true. I talked about how, everything happens for a reason. And then if we didn't get the house, that meant that this was just helping us get the process started and that our house was out there and we were going to find it. And so I took that night to be disappointed because I'm allowed to feel my feelings and I was disappointed. And then the next day we looked at houses. We found 4 of them that we want to look at and we're going to be going to look at them soon. And then you move on because you know that your manifestation is still coming. So even when it doesn't come in the form that you thought, you still have to keep the faith because it will be there. It just might not look how you thought it was going to look. My manifesting this year was to buy a house. My manifestation was not specifically that house. And I'm still keeping the faith even though I was redirected. And that is the big thing with manifestations. You have to let go of the outcome and also let go of the how. How am I going to get there? How is this going to work out? How am I going to be able to do these things when I have no idea how to do them? I know that that's the hard part because for me, that is what I really struggle with. I need to know every single detail. I need to have everything planned out. And so I understand that that's difficult, but that's something that you will work through with time. So here's an example. Maybe you want to manifest a certain amount of money in your business. And even though you're making $0 right now, you want to be making $600 a month. This was a huge goal of mine for a really, really long time. And even though it wasn't happening, I still kept the faith that it was going to happen. And you might think to yourself, well, how the heck is this even going to happen? Each month, all I do is lose a bunch of money and I never seem to make any. And that is your controlling energy. That is your masculine energy. You are blocking your manifestations from coming in unintentionally, and you're also blocking creative ideas from coming in to help you figure out how to make that $600 a month. When you manifest, you have to be more in your feminine energy, which is trusting that it's going to come in no matter what. But there is no timeline for this to happen in. And that is one of the things that you need to do is if you set goals, I know that I struggle with timelines. If I don't get that done in a certain timeline, I feel like it's a moral failing on my part. It stresses me out. Sometimes it can lead to inaction because we're so stressed about this goal and this timeline that we think we have to hit it. And we think if we don't hit it, it means something about us, which isn't really the case. And the same thing goes for manifestation because goal setting and manifesting is kind of hand in hand. There is no timeline. So when you let go of that timeline and you say this is going to happen whenever it happens, because you never know, maybe it is the 30th and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to make an extra $100 this month because I only made $500. Tomorrow, you could get a client for $100. You could get a client for $600. Tomorrow, the 31st, last day of the month, something could happen and you would never have any idea if you gave up too soon. Like you don't know what's going to happen in the future, or it might happen, a couple days late into the next month. You might still make that $600, but you have to just keep the faith that it's going to still be there because there is no timeline. At least there's not one that we can control or that we know about. There is a timeline for when things are going to happen, but we don't get to decide when that timeline is. And it's okay to still set a timeline. You can say like, okay, universe, I want this to happen on this date. And then it might happen on that date or it might not. But if it doesn't happen on that date, you still need to keep the faith that it's like, okay, this is just taking a little bit longer. There were some things maybe that needed to fall into place before I was able to do this. It's still coming. It just didn't show up in the timeline that I specifically wanted. Because like me, house buying, I need to have a house bought by September because that is my move out date. So I'm telling the universe, okay, I would like to have a house by September. And if that doesn't happen, then that means that it wasn't supposed to. And if we have to sign on for a month-to-month basis until we find a house, we're allowed to do that. So I'm still okay with it not happening in that timeline, even though I have one set up. Hopefully that makes sense. Money is a great example because it's one thing that we all need, right? You need it to live and pay your bills, but you also need it to do super cool things. Going on vacation, buying the car that you want, going out to eat, hanging out with your friends. There's like more to money than just making enough to live. You need money for everything. Yet so many people think money is hard to manifest. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of negative money beliefs that are surrounding money that is subconsciously blocking the money that you want to manifest into your life. And it's pushing it away. So if you're trying to manifest money, you have to get rid of the negative beliefs surrounding it before you can do that. And you have to understand that right now, if you're in a bad situation or you don't have a lot of money, it doesn't mean a damn thing about you. Your money situation and the living situation or just the circumstances that you are in right now doesn't mean a thing about you or your worth. You are worth so much more than whatever circumstances you were given. Your situation is just your situation. You can get out of that. It doesn't mean anything about you. So when you can detach yourself from your situation, if you are in a bad living environment right now and you don't like where you live, or you're in an unhappy job, or you are broke and you're barely making it through the month, that doesn't mean anything about you. That is not a moral failing on your part. So if you can detach yourself from that, you'll start to feel better about your situation. And then you can realize that money and your situation don't mean anything at all. And money in general is neutral. We as humans give money all of its meaning. Money is just a tool. It is just a thing that you give someone in exchange for something else. It is no different than back in the day when they bartered. However, humans wanted an easier way to do things, so they created money. It is neutral. Money itself, this dollar bill, is not good or evil on its own. So if you think that money is the root of all evil, then it is. But if you think money is good, then it is. But if you are a good person and you want to do great things with your money and you want to donate, and if you're listening to this podcast episode, I know that that is you and you fit in that description, then if you have $1 million, if you are the richest person in the world, you are going to do fantastic things with your money instead of all of the other billionaires and millionaires who have done bad things to get their money. And that is how you can start to manifest more. And this is just obviously just an example with money, but you can take this into anything else. If you want to manifest a successful business, you also have to be specific about what you want in that successful business. If you think that you can't do this and you think that you are never ever going to be able to have a successful business, or you don't believe in yourself 100%, or you have negative mindsets around business or something, some of these things you might not even realize you have because they're all subconscious. But if you can work through that and you realize that, then you're like, oh, this is why my business isn't successful, because it's all in your mind. And when you fix your mindset, you can do less and manifest more. So with that being said, how do you really begin to manifest things? And the first thing you need to do is set a goal. What is it that you want? And you want to get really, really clear on this. Think about it like you are ordering from a restaurant. When the waitress comes up and asks, what would you like? Are you just going to say a sandwich? What kind of sandwich? What kind of bread do you want? What kind of toppings do you want? What kind of side do you want? Do you want fries? Do you want a salad? Do you want soup? And then you have, what kind of soup do you want? What kind of salad do you want? What kind of toppings do you want on the salad? What kind of dressing do you want with the salad? You don't go into a restaurant and just say, hi, I would like to order one sandwich, please. Because they're going to have no idea what to bring you. And when you just tell the universe, hi, I would like to have a successful business, what does that mean? When you tell the universe you want to make some money, what does that mean? Does that mean that when you walk down the street and you find a couple pennies on the street, that means your manifestations have come true and that's the money that you want? Of course not. We want to make money, right? But if you have no idea how much money you want to make, or you have no idea how successful you want your business to be, or what kind of house you want, or what kind of job you want, whatever it is that you're manifesting, if you don't tell the universe exactly what it is that you want to manifest, then you could just say that the couple dollars you found on the street is the money that you want and your manifestations have come true and the universe's job is done. Now, obviously, that is not the case. We want to manifest a certain amount of money, but if you don't ever specify that, then the universe cannot deliver on your order. So a few ways that you can do this is by journaling. I call it scripting when I'm writing about something in the future. It's basically like you could just write out your perfect day. Whatever you're manifesting, it doesn't matter. But let's say you want to manifest a better life with healthier habits. You can write out your perfect day. What pajamas are you wearing? What does your house look like? Where do you live? And you can say like, okay, I'm 26, or you can say I'm 40, or you can say whatever age you want to say if you want it to be that. I don't like to give it a timeline because everything happens on its own time. So I just pick a random day in the future. Get as specific as you possibly can so that you can tell the universe, this is exactly what I want to manifest. I want to manifest this type of car that is this color, and this is how I'm going to feel when I get it. And that's the other trick to manifesting is how you are going to feel when you have that manifestation, because that matters a lot more than the timeline, and that can help you let go of the outcome. You're in a relationship with the universe. This is 50-50. You do your part and you tell the universe, here's exactly what I would like to order. And then the universe is going to bring you that order, but it just might look a little bit different. So when you can focus on how you are going to feel when you get that feeling is likely not going to change, even if the situation changes. And then that will keep your mind open for other opportunities that might not look how you planned them to look. You could also do this by writing out affirmations, and you can write out goals, and you want to look at them as often as possible. You could also do visualization meditation. That's really helpful for me. Whatever works for you. But once you have placed your order with the universe, now is the hard part. Now you have to wait. And you always have to keep the faith. No matter what, every single day you have to keep the faith that your manifestation is on the way. Because the other big part of manifesting is not believing that it is outside of you. You want to believe that that thing that you are manifesting is already yours. Because if you think of it as like outside of you, like, oh, this is way too far away, I'm never going to get it, I need to get to the next level first. If you think that next level is out of your reach, then you are never going to get to that next level. You need to understand that you are perfect exactly as you are. Like, you have your manifestation now. You are ready for this manifestation to come in, and you are at the same frequency. You are vibrating at the same frequency, the same energy as this manifestation, and it is going to be yours. Because if you think it's outside of you, then that is what's going to be pushing that manifestation away from you. So even when it seems like you've been waiting forever, you have to keep the faith that your manifestation is going to come in time. And then sometimes you may think that things are starting to work out, and then they don't. It is the equivalent to the restaurant again. You see your waitress come in with your food, you get all excited because you're like, yes, it is my time to eat, and then they pass you by and they go put the food at another table. Same thing with manifesting. I thought my house was the one that I looked at, and I got really excited because I was going to have the house, and then the food passed me by. The house passed me by. But what happens at a restaurant when you see your waitress coming and they keep passing you by? Every time you see your waitress, you get excited because you think it's your food. And when the waitress passes you by yet again, what do? Do you get up and leave? You tuck tail and go home and you say, okay, well, I guess we're never getting our food. I'm leaving. No, you get excited every time you see that waitress come out with a plate of food because you think it's yours. And eventually, in due time, it will be yours. Same thing goes for manifesting. You have to keep the faith, keep being excited. Every single day you wake up and you are excited because you are going to get this manifestation. And it's okay if you're disappointed, and it's okay if you're frustrated if it takes a long time for your food to come out, but eventually it is going to be your turn and you are going to get your manifestations. And manifesting is an ongoing thing too. You'll want to continually be visualizing what you want over and over and over again. You want to keep journaling about your perfect day, or you want to keep journaling about the thing you want, or you want to keep thinking about and feeling how is it going to feel when this manifestation comes through. But you also don't want to change it. It's okay if you're journaling similar things and you're thinking about a same situation over and over and over again, because you don't want to move the goalpost. You don't want to think about one situation and then try to manifest it in a different way and then try to do, like, you don't want to keep switching up your energy and switching up your manifestations, because then the universe isn't going to know what to bring you. Once you place your order is placed, and you want to keep it the same so that the universe can know what to bring into your life. There is a fine line here that you don't want to cross though. You don't want to be so caught up in your version version of how your manifestation is going to come through that you miss the opportunity that is actually going to bring you that manifestation. Because as I said, it might come in a different form. So you don't want to get so caught up in your vision and so tunnel visioned that you cannot see the opportunity that showed up that looks a little bit different than you planned. And that is when the letting go and the how comes in. Because you need to let go of how these things are going to come in. You need to let go of the outcome. It's difficult to do because you're like, okay, well, you want me to focus on it, but you want me to let it go at the same time. Yes, that is exactly what you need to do. You just want to have a vision, but then keep your eyes peeled for other opportunities. It's hard. It's a fine line to walk, but the more you practice it, the easier it's going to get. This is the part where you have to let go of the outcome. You have to let go of the how, and you have to take inspired action. Because let's go back to the $600 a month example, right? Let's say you want to make $600 a month and you have no idea how that's going to come in. But the next day you might wake up and get an idea for a product that you can sell. Take inspired action and create that product, because that might be the universe sending you a signal like, here's your manifestation. Here's what you want to do. For me, it was, I knew that I wanted to make money through my blog, affiliate marketing. I wanted to make money through YouTube AdSense. I wanted to make money through Etsy. Those areas some of those areas at least, I have been struggling with. So instead, during mindset coaching, we came up with the idea for me to do my Shine with Sarah package, my blog audit, and my Zoom call. That was originally something that I was way too scared to do. But the more that I thought about it, the more I took inspired action on it, the more that I built it, the more excited I was about it. So that was the universe redirecting me and saying, okay, I know that you want to make money with these things, but here's how you're actually going to make money. And then I launched my Shine with Sarah blog audit and coaching package. It's a little bit different than how I was planning on making money, but it's still going to be the end result of me making money, so it doesn't matter. So maybe for you, you want to make money through your paid products, but maybe you get an idea tomorrow to write a blog post with an affiliate link. And maybe that blog post goes on to rank on the first page of Google, and you had an affiliate link in there that people start clicking and buying, and you start making money that way. If you don't take inspired action on that blog post because you're so worried about how you're going to make money in these ways, you're never going to see that $600 come in. You're never going to see your manifestations come through. I hope this was helpful. I think that's all that I have to say. This episode was a little bit chaotic. Not sure how much you guys are going to see. Maybe I'll do a little bit of bloopers after this, depending, but just know it was chaos. If you want to work with me during my Shine with Sarah package, my blog audit and coaching session, I will leave a link to that down below in the description, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Hello and welcome back to the Embracing Your Powers podcast. We have a guest. She's been trying to get on my lap for the past 10 minutes and hasn't figured out how she wants to do it. And now, of course, the moment I start recording, she wants to join us. You can stay. Okay, you can't stay if you're going to bite me, though. That you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do that. Did you see that? You're mean. Okay. She's mad I'm not paying attention to her? I don't know. She's rude. Chaos already. Just started recording and we're already in chaos. Do you want to? Yep. So if you've never heard of manifesting, it's essentially goal set. This is real and raw, y'all. This is about as real and raw as it gets. Do you mind at all scooting anywhere to the left? No, we want to sit right there. Okay. You set a goal and you focus on that goal and you work towards it. I'm sorry. You are distracting, ma'am. Do you want to sit on my lap? It's officially some of Millie's days, final day quarantining. How do you feel? Hi, are you happy? It's almost your final day. Yeah, are you happy? You're so beautiful. And we have Rosie outside, sticking her little paw under the door. Yeah, right there. This is what we're dealing with. Rosie, get your paw. Get your paw, ma'am. Now she's finally laid down and relaxed, so hopefully I can get together a podcast episode that makes sense. That's ideal. And now my camera's dying. Okay. When I tell y'all, I am going through it already. I don't know if I'm going to use any of that. This battery's dying too. Okay.